All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, Tuesday, December 26, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Hanging in there, trying to.
Well, we didn't do a show on Friday. We were getting ready to travel and everything, but I broke down picks for the weekend. They did not do real great.
I had picks. Let's see how I did.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I went 4-4 on Friday. If we didn't. And on Saturday, I went 0-2 in the NFL. Sunday, I went 2-2 in the NFL. I would have went 2-2 in the NFL. Monday, I would have went 1-1 in the NFL.
I had 20 picks total. I would have ended up 10-10.
And on college football on Saturday, I'd have been 0-2.
Yeah, college football, I stunk it up.
So my picks I would have had wouldn't have been great. But like I said, we didn't do the show on Friday. Because we were traveling to WCWO down in Indianapolis for a big show there.
Yeah, Glenn, I believe him and Austin play each other, so one of them are going to make it to the championship.
I lost the championship yesterday.
Yep.
I still had a slight chance going to that game, but then Brock Purdy played like shit.
Yeah, I could have come back if Purdy wouldn't have had such a bad game. Well, also the guy from the Raiders, I think Adams had me like 1.4 or something like that, So I had opportunity.
I got second. I at least made it to the championship game this year. I'll win it next year.
You got a little bit of money.
Hopefully it'll be against Austin. I'd like to beat him in the championship.
I don't think Austin's ever made a championship. Maybe he can make it this year. We have to beat Glenn, but
that'll be a fun one this weekend. Well, there ain't a whole lot of games today. Got some NBA games, some couple college football games. Other than that, there is no hockey today. No college basketball, which was kind of surprising as well.
Yeah, I seen that. There are 3 college football, but one started at 2.
Yeah, they're playing right now. Damn, it's a MAC team.
I don't remember. I know it's coming on after McAfee was coming on, but I don't remember who it was.
It's Minnesota and a MAC team. I can't remember
what Toledo was it?
I don't even against the Falcons. Bowling Green.
Bowling Green, yeah.
I knew it was a MAC team they were playing. Bowling Green took the lead early, and last I had seen it was Minnesota was ahead like 9-6 or something like that, 9-7 or something.
Well, what'd you think about this past NFL weekend?
It's a pretty good weekend, other than Colts played like shit.
Yeah.
I don't know that they didn't look very good that game at all. I know we had a lot of injuries of hurting us some, but our defense disappointed me in that game. Our defense couldn't stop the run for nothing in that game. I was surprised last night. I thought that'd be a good game, but I thought the 49ers would beat the Ravens. I didn't think the Ravens would dominate them like they did. So that was a little bit of a surprise. But I mean, there was some good games. Dolphins and Cowboys was a good game.
Yep.
Billy says Cowboys are a joke.
No, am I correct in saying if the Colts win their next two, they're in the playoffs? Am I correct in saying that?
Who?
The Colts. They're in the 7th position, so I thought as long as they won, what does that matter? Because I know there's one team they've got the tiebreaker over a couple of teams, but there is one team they don't. Cincinnati, I believe it is.
Yeah, Bengals have the tiebreaker over them, so they don't want to tie with the Bengals. But yeah, if they win their next two games, they should. I would say they're in the playoffs. I don't think they'll move down. And then, I mean, they still have a chance. They could win the division. Hell, if we could have played any good against Cincinnati or Atlanta, we could be leading the division right now. Yeah, we got to play better this week.
Yeah, I got a tough game where that Raiders defense looked. That Raiders defense looked awesome.
And we can't let Aiden O'Connell come in and look like an all-pro quarterback. I mean,
he looked horrible that game, but
we've let Heineke look. We've made Heineke look pretty damn good. And Browning looked like an all-pro against us, but he played well against some other teams too. But I mean, he definitely looked like an all-pro against the Colts.
So
this Ravens look like they might be the best team in the AFC and
might be the best team in football. Maybe we'll see.
And guess who beat them earlier this year?
Colts. Lamar, he the favorite now?
I think, I think he'll move up to the favorite. I don't know if he should be the favorite for the MVP. The way you bounce back, because basically what they've turned this award into is who's the best quarterback on the best team.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't sit here and say Purdy should be the MVP after the way he played yesterday. But if you look at Lamar's numbers, it's not like he's putting up like just awesome, great numbers. Hell, he had a lot better numbers when the year he won the MVP. And he's having a good year. I mean, he's having a great year. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying he ain't really having an MVP type. I kind of think this could be a year maybe you give it to somebody that's not a quarterback, but I think it's going to go to a quarterback, and I'd have to say right now, I would say it's going to go to Lamar Jackson. Well, I'm telling you, somebody's at his heels, and if they win this weekend, watch, he'll be right up there at probably number 2. It's going to be Josh Allen.
Could be, but yeah, but how the team with that many losses? How can you?
Well, if they win out, they can end up being like 11-6.
Well, I guess that's true.
It's only a couple more losses than what the top teams have, and they've won all them won a lot of games in a row. If he, I could see him sneaking in there and being, if not winning it, being right up there at the top 2 or 3.
Yeah. But McCaffrey had a good game.
I'm not saying I agree with. I'm just saying it's all about narrative. I mean,
I thought McCaffrey still had a good game yesterday, all things considered.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with a guy like him getting it. Tyreek Hill's name should have been up there. I know he had missed a game. He had a decent game. He had over 100 yards. But if he was going to get that 2,000 yards, he would have definitely been in the conversation. But it's not looking like he's going to get to that 2,000. He had to have a couple of real big games next couple of weeks. Which they got Dolphins have another tough one this week against the Ravens.
Yep. That's true.
And then if the Dolphins lose this one and the Bills win this week, then that Week 18 game between the Bills and Dolphins could be for the division. See, Bills could there's still a chance they could come back and win that division as well. 'Cause, Miami and Buffalo play each other in Week 18, and if Miami was to lose against the Ravens, that game could be for the division because Buffalo beat Miami earlier in the year, so they could have the tiebreaker if they beat them on the 18th as well. So that's or in Week 18. I mean, so it's going to be interesting to see some of the stuff that happens. The Raiders beating the Chiefs without scoring an offensive touchdown. I think they only completed 9 passes the whole game, and then after like the second quarter or something like that, it was
second and third quarter.
It was crazy.
I know second and third quarter they didn't complete a pass.
I don't think they completed the pass in the fourth either.
They may not have. I know in the second and third they didn't. I was watching the game. I was out the hospital, unfortunately, but I was watching the game and second. I know second.
They only completed like 9 passes the whole game, and if I remember right, they were all in like the first quarter. I don't think so. they were completed any after that, and won the game. That's fucking crazy, especially against a team like the Chiefs that I know they're not the team that they have been the last few years, but they're still good. They're still a good football team.
Kansas City's defense did everything they could do, but the Kansas City's offensive line was horrible that game. Chris Mahomes didn't have a chance at the time.
And they're starting to implode on the sidelines. Mahomes yelling and screaming at everybody. Kelsey threw his helmet, and then Andy Reid gave Kelsey a little bit of a push, shoulder bump there.
Yeah, made him set out an extra play. I understand his frustration. Here you are, got a punter throwing a 20-yard pass. Yeah, it worked out. Why would you do that play? Why wouldn't you have Mahomes on the field doing that? So I understand his frustration. Plus, he thought they missed it. He thought that they dropped it. He didn't. So he was upset. That's why he threw his helmet. But Mahomes yelling at his offensive line, which he should have been yelling at his offensive line, because they couldn't protect shit.
No, they were struggling. But I'm still not one of these guys that count the Chiefs completely out, because if they're with that defense they have, if their offense can get going a little bit, they still can be real dangerous in the playoffs.
They sure ain't showing those signs right now, though. But you're right. I mean, Mahomes is a hell of a player. He can carry a lot, but he couldn't get the job done by himself yesterday. No. And he was trying, but he couldn't get it done by himself, and he wasn't getting a whole lot of help from his defense, but not from his offense.
But you also have to think about it. I mean, there's been years where teams have had some bad games, real big, bad, disappointing games, and have going into 2 or 3 weeks before playoffs, and then get hot.
Yep.
I mean, the year the Colts won it when we beat the Bears. I mean, hell, around this time of the year, we gave up 350 yards rushing to Jacksonville. Just 2 or 3 weeks before the playoffs, and the playoffs started, and we got Bob Sanders back, and our run defense turned into one of the best run defenses in the league. We stopped some of the top running backs all the way through the playoffs and ended up going to the Super Bowl and winning it. So, I mean,
have you seen the rumors I've seen floating around that the Bears might be willing to trade Fields for some picks?
What'd you say? Trade picks.
That the
Fields?
That the Bears are willing to take some picks for Fields. Huh. That their plan is to probably take the USC quarterback.
I'm not sold on him, but like I had said earlier on, I figured they were going to try to move on from Fields. It's just last year you stayed pat with Fields instead of taking the quarterback with when you had the number 1 pick. You traded the number 1 pick actually away and moved back. And then this year, they've been playing decent here over the last few weeks. They really have. But in the way this year has been, and you're going to end up with the number 1 pick again. It's hard not to take a quarterback. It's hard to pass on a chance to take one of these top guys.
Yeah.
Well,
the rumors also
Fields. If you look at his numbers, he's played pretty good the last few weeks.
He missed quite a few games, but yeah, it ain't been too bad. There are also rumors going around that they might take those picks, that they would trade Fields to take those picks, and possibly trade for Pittsburgh's coach.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I mean, there have been people trade for coaches before.
Yeah. I guess that would be the Pittsburgh thing to do. They're known for not firing coaches, so instead of firing them, we'll just trade you. We still didn't fire a coach for all these years. We'll just trade him.
Would you take that trade, Fields, for the coach?
I think Fields would be an upgrade at quarterback for Pittsburgh right now. I think he's better than Pickett. But is he going to develop it? You know what I mean? He's been in 3 years now. So that's why I didn't. It won't surprise me if the Bears move on because of that. Because you're getting ready to have to make a decision if you want to pay him a second contract or not, too. And I mean, if you look at it, look what you can do with a quarterback on their rookie deal. I mean, 49ers are paying Brock Purdy like $800,000 right now.
Yeah,
that frees up a lot of money in the salary cap to bring in other players. So, I can see what the Bears thinking there, and you're hoping you hit on one of these top picks. I'm not sold on Caleb Williams, so
no, I'm not either. Well, I was coming out of his junior year, but boy,
but I'm not. But
Senior.
I can't make it. I'm not sold on keeping Fields either. So I mean, I understand, and it's a crapshoot when you get in the draft and you take one of these guys. I mean, you just never know. All right, today's games. We'll start in college football. Right now, Bowling Green is up 10-9 on Minnesota, second quarter of the Quick Lane Bowl. That game started earlier. You got another game starting at 5:30. Texas State against Rice. Texas State's a 3.5-point favorite. They're minus 170 on the money line. Over unders at 59.5. I like Texas State at the minus 3.5 in this game. And then the other college football game is at 9 o'clock tonight, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Kansas versus UNLV. Kansas is a 10.5-point favorite, minus 385 on the money line. UNLV is plus 300 on the money line. Over-unders at 66.5. I'm going to take Kansas at the minus 10.5. So I'm going to go with both the favorites in college football today in the bowl games.
Okay. Well, my college football, I'm going Texas State versus Rice. I'm going to take Rice plus the 3.5. And but I am going to take Kansas minus the 10.5 against UNLV.
Glenn, your Raiders defense is showing signs. Glenn says throw down same game parlay Sunday. Raiders to win and Raiders to score one or more defensive touchdown.
Hey, calm down there, Glenn. Raiders to win. What the hell?
Wait a minute. Yeah, the Colts play the Raiders?
Yes.
Wait a minute, Glenn. What the hell now?
What the hell?
So you think the Raiders are going to beat the Colts and put the Colts out of the playoffs?
Calm down, Glenn. I don't attack your Pacers. Come on, man. Don't be attacking my Colts.
Yeah, so after I read that, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. We'll play the Raiders this week, damn
We'll
it.
get Pittman back. We're going to score a few points and enough to win. Come on. I believe. Does that sound convincing?
He said, laughing my ass off, full of Cubs. Because remember, he done that with the Cubs against the Reds and won big money.
Yeah. Asshole.
Hey, Glenn says, when it comes to money,
Hey,
I don't care if I'm a fan of a team or not. I think the Colts are going to beat the Raiders. We're going to have to play better than what we did last week. We made the Falcons look like they were a pretty good team.
Yeah, we did.
NBA tonight. Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to take Brooklyn Nets minus 6.5 on the road at the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to take the Chicago Bulls plus 1.5 at home. Hold on want to make sure the mods are the same. But it's not showing me that game for some reason now. Okay, yeah. Actually, that has changed. I'm gonna take the Bulls at the Bulls plus 1.5 at home against the Hawks. I'm gonna take the Pacers at the plus 3.5 on the road against the Houston Rockets. And I'm gonna take the Los Angeles Clippers minus 12 at home against the Charlotte Hornets.
Okay, my NBA picks for tonight. I got Brooklyn minus the 6.5 at Detroit. I got Orlando minus 7.5 at Washington. I got Memphis at the Pelicans. I'll take the Pelicans minus 5. And I've got Charlotte at the Clippers. I'll take the Clippers minus 12.
Hey, Glenn says, I hope they do. We need some playoffs. But I was just thinking this. If I'd have to look. I don't even know where we'd like draft at right now with our record. But if we lost the last 2 games, how much would that put us improve our draft pick?
I don't know if we can get in the top 10 or not.
I don't know if we get
I don't
the
think
top
so.
10, but I mean, thing is, we're capable. I mean, we're capable of beating, playing with about anybody, but then we're also capable of losing to anybody.
That's true. Right now, who's the number 2 team in the AFC? Number 1's Baltimore. I'm trying to think who's 2.
Dolphins.
So right now, if it ended right now, we'd play the Dolphins. Hell, Dolphins might put 70 on us.
Nah. Could be the Bills, too.
Yeah,
yeah, if the Bills end up winning that division, they could end up. Well, yeah. Well, depending on what the Chiefs record, or the Chiefs could move. Yep.
Chiefs. I don't think Chiefs can get that high because they've lost 6 games now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Though, but the Bills beat the Chiefs, didn't they? So the Bills would have tiebreaker in them because there's a chance all 3 of them teams could finish with 6 losses.
I don't think they will, but they could. It's not impossible.
Because Dolphins could lose their last 2. If they lose their last 2 and the Bills win out, they could all finish with the same record, basically. And the Bills would win the division over the Dolphins by tiebreaker. But, oh no, hell. Eagles looked like we're going to let the Giants come back and beat them yesterday. So this is one of the years. It's going to be an interesting playoffs because this could be a year we could have 2 teams in the Super Bowl that you never really wouldn't think that would be there.
Could Detroit get hot?
There's no big, you know what I mean? There's no, I mean, you'd have to say Baltimore's the favorite after the way they looked last night. But there's no like big, clear cut favorite like you have some years. I mean,
well, we kind of thought San Francisco was, but sure didn't look like it last night. The hell beat out them.
I still think they're the best team in the NFC, but they got to play better than they did last night. Lamar Jackson's only lost like 1 game to an NFC team since he's been in the league, so that's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, I bet you did, Billy. I was watching that game. It looked like they were going to make a comeback.
They'd score though, and then Philly come right down to score. They couldn't hold them. They got them defensive touchdowns. That was kind of funny. Them Philadelphia fans, they didn't know what to do.
No. But all right. Well, do you have anything else before we get out here for today?
No, I don't think so.
Damn. Glenn with a chance to win something else.
Well, that's not shocking. Yeah, we got to see Big Glenn this past Friday at the WCWO at Cageman's, which I think you're going to be showing that here before too long. And we got a show tonight.
Yep. Yeah, join us tonight at 6:30 for Gonzo's Wrestling Room. We do it since we didn't do one yesterday because of Christmas. We're doing it tonight, 6:30. Join us for that. We'll be back tomorrow right around 3 o'clock for another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. We appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.